Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
They're polite. I mean, they just take the time for you.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
I like the Angels for what they've done for me.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks as always to the producer and editor of our series, Behind the Camera, Jeff DeRaw. We're at the First Presbyterian Church at 29th and Hall in Hayes with the Executive Director of the Center for Life Experiences, located within the First Presbyterian Church, Ann Leiker, our Community Connection. Now going on 16 years, Ann?
16 years, Mike.
Wow. Well, what brought you to this work?
Well, I had been a medical social worker at St. Anthony Hayes Medical Center, and then I was also in medical social work as a nursing home administrator. And then my husband became disabled, and I stayed home with him. And we went to therapy in Wichita and those places. And during that time frame, this congregation had been given a gift from a member with specifications that this church was to use this gift to begin something, to do something for the community, not for the benefit of her and not for the benefit of this congregation or this church, but to demonstrate the great commandment to love one another.
And this was Dean Jean at Fort Hays State, Jean Stauffer.
Dean Jean Stauffer gave us that gift as a member and when she passed.
So from that little seed came the eventual Center for Life Experiences.
Yes, that's where it grew, because what happened was there was a group formed from the congregation to look and see what is that one, because she specified it's one need to meet, and how could we best, what need could we meet, did we have the resources, and how to decide. We didn't want to duplicate. We wanted to be continually updating and organic so that we were not being outdated. So a group formed, and they determined that one of the biggest needs was keeping people connected, building relationships. And so that's how we started, with ways to bring people together who were sharing perhaps similar challenges in their lives and could talk to each other and find out they're not alone, find out that there are all different kinds of ways for people to cope, to deal with, to get support. And so that's kind of where this has grown in 16 years.
And these are all life experiences, which is a beautiful title for the organization and its mission. And I know for you, and as we have visited over the years, it's not a job, it's more like a mission or a calling for you, Ann Leiker.
Well, it is. It has been a calling for me. I just am so grateful. I applied for the position when they determined what that was going to look like, and I didn't know whether I would be selected or not. But I guess, yes, indeed, it was a calling. They say your mission or your calling is where a need and your passion connect.
And where God tells you you're to be
at
that particular moment.
Yes.
Well, I know Center for Life Experiences focuses on some services and groups now that address needs.
Yes. We have, when we started from the very beginning, I had been engaged and involved in facilitating some grief and loss support groups, one for parents who've lost a child that started back in 1986. And that group has followed me and came here. And then after that, a few years later, after my husband passed, there was a group that came and said they'd really like to do a support group for people who had lost an adult in their life, a spouse, a parent. And because I was not only bringing my own experience, but my work with hospice, being engaged with hospice for many, many years at Hayes, being engaged with people in that time of grief and loss at the nursing home, at the hospital. So that's when we got that started. And then about 7 years ago, a mom who lost her 27, I believe, year-old son, who took his life, was directed to me because she said, "Ann, people tell me I've gotten to help and support, and I learned about someone who takes their life, but I want to talk to other people who are going through this and see how are they managing, how are they coping, what are they feeling." Wow. And so she asked if I would work with her on getting a group started, and that's how Healing After Loss of Suicide got started.
Those are the three core areas now of the Center for Life Experiences.
Yes.
One of the events we certainly wanted to talk about is an event that's based on the solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, which is the shortest day of the year, first day of winter, usually between December 21st, 23rd. This year, Wednesday, December 21st of 2016. From that grows the service of the longest night. Talk about that, will you?
Well, the service of the longest night is also awaiting hope of a new day, because the solstice is not only the shortest day, but the longest, darkest night. And for many people at this time of the year, it's not just winter, but the darkest times of the year, we have a lot of memories that are painful. We miss people who don't have, perhaps have lost a job, whatever it is that's in their life that they're struggling with. Life just feels kind of dark. And so, but we want people to know that there is hope. There is the light. As you come out of the solstice, the days, the light gets longer and the dark gets shorter.
Now, this annual event began with the 3 grief and loss groups, and then NAMI, right? The National Alliance for Mental Illness.
Yes, all 4 of those groups. And, you know, it's a candlelight service. And
yeah, tell us about what happens.
We have candles for anyone who wants to come. And so they don't have to worry about bringing their own or whatever. And in the middle of the service, we have a time to light a candle. And if those people want to come and dedicate it or say, this is in memory of my parents, my husband, my son, my daughter, and give especially their name, because it's very important to put a name. This isn't just, you know, something out there. It's very personal. And
the candle signifying bringing the light then.
Yep, keeping the light going. The light's coming. We're remembering and honoring their life. That's what we are trying to focus on, is life through light.
Where and when is the service, Ann?
The service, usually the solstice has been on the Sunday evening, but this year it's Wednesday, but we're doing it Sunday evening, the 18th, I believe it is. And it will be at 7 o'clock, and it will be in the sanctuary here of the First Presbyterian Church. It's an ecumenical service. Anyone is welcome. We open the doors and welcome anyone who wants to come and perhaps just be with others, to also acknowledge that life is not always easy. But there's hope. We try and offer that hope.
And in those numbers, there is a community that connects.
Absolutely. You know, that's kind of what the center is about. It's about bringing people together in communities of where they've had similar life experiences. and they can hold each other's emotions and struggles and hopes and dreams and stories together and relate. The bonds that are made between the people in those groups, they start out, a lot of them, as not knowing each other, but within one or two times they connect, and then they describe it, they name it as family. This is my second family.
Now, it's fitting that this is at the First Presbyterian Church in the sanctuary, because it is certainly born out of a religious background of love for others.
Right, faith background.
Even through the struggles.
Yes. It's, that faith that there is a stronger force and power in God and God's healing love that's going to bring hope to us and a better, lighter day.
Ecumenical service, all are welcome, December 18th, 7 p.m. in the sanctuary of the First Presbyterian Church on Hall Street. And if you do have questions, you have a number for us, 785-259-6859.
Yes.
785-259-6859. Give you a website here in a few minutes. But since we are in the midst of the holidays now, so many emotions arise from those groups, those individuals who don't see the holidays as bright and shiny.
No, they don't, but we try and bring it down to the holiday really is one day. And, I just saw on Facebook where this issue of saying Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas. Between November and December, there are all kinds of faith-based celebrations and holidays.
Of all religions.
Of all faiths. And so we want to acknowledge that, but that they all come together under one theme, and that's acknowledging that there is light and hope and love in God's grace. And as Christians, we look at that as the birth of Christ, God with us. And that's what we want to signify as God with us. Always, even in our darkest times, He's with us.
Ken, in our final couple of minutes here, can you give us some clues in interacting with those who have suffered a loss?
Remember them. People often don't say, oh, I don't want to see them cry. I won't ask them about their loved one. That is the one thing that people say. I want to say their name. I want to hear their name. I want to hear the fun stories. I want to hear that sharing. They are still, were a part of our lives and still are. And so we celebrate. And Healing After Loss has a group Christmas dinner where we go out together, because it's hard when you've lost someone to go out into the community and necessarily share your stories, because sometimes people don't know how to respond. It's like, and we call it the U-turn in the grocery store. They see us and they do a U-turn because, they perhaps don't want to upset us. It's not, when somebody's lost someone, yes, you may see tears, but they may be tears of joy and tears of gratefulness that they can talk about that person, they can share.
And you've been willing to listen as an individual.
Yes. Listening is one of the most healing. Listening, you don't have to say a thing, just listen.
I am so thankful for your mission here at the Center for Life Experiences. December 18th, 7 p.m., that's Sunday night.
Sunday evening.
7 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church Sanctuary. If you'd like more information about the Center for Life Experiences, the website, www.CFLE, Center for Life Experiences.weebly.com. That's WEEBLY.com. And again, the longest night service at the First Presbyterian Church, December 18th, 7 p.m. The Executive Director of the Center for Life Experiences, Ann Leiker, our Community Connection.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
And the Angel Care nurse comes to see me once a week.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible.
Angel Care has helped to stay home.
Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.